We're going live on Facebook.
Yep, we are live on here and we already have our attendees waiting. Amazing, amazing, amazing. You're welcome. Good afternoon, everyone. And it's amazing day today. IK, how are you feeling? Jesse, how are you feeling, guys?
I'm good. I'm good.
I'm
Thank
good.
you.
I'm feeling good. How are you guys?
Yeah, really good. Thank you.
And you guys are all looking pretty, looking amazing. You are welcome. We now have more attendees who have logged in. This is amazing. You are welcome to the Fumi and IK knowledge sharing series. This is season 1, and you would hear a little bit more about that. But today is power packed. That's all I can say. And we want to say very, very big thank you to everyone who keeps joining us week in, week out. This is week 9. Can you believe this? You know, you're welcome. To those who are joining us for the first time, you are welcome. It's a weekly thing. It's a seasonal thing as well. It's important to note that. And yeah, for those who have been with us already, we're grateful for your continued support. IK, I don't know if you want to share any, you want to say hello to our guests who are joining us? You are welcome.
Hi, people. I'm really sorry. I just needed to get us on Facebook, but we're on Facebook now. So sorry that I've been distracted, a little bit distracted. But welcome, everyone. Welcome to a new week. Thank you for coming back week after week. We are super grateful. And then, of course, we've got a guest today, but we'll talk more about that soon.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think for now, we can go into our agreement, our Zoom agreement, which is just usual protocols. I think, IK, you've got that on, haven't you?
Yeah. Can you see it?
I can now.
Yes, we can, yeah.
Yeah, so this is just a very small agreement. It's just courteous, you know, that we would like people to remain mute. I think that's the setting anyway. So should you have any questions or anything that you'd like to comment, you can use the comment box. It's important because we've had in the past where people put in comments or asking questions rather in the comment box. So please, let's use the comment box for just comment only where we want to say yes, just like we're getting right now from Mr. Tunji saying hello. Thank you. Drop comments in the comment section and questions in the question box only. So if you've got any question, please use that box so that we can manage our time properly. And of course, do not share your personal details. It is highly encouraged not to, simply because this is a safe space. And for data protection reasons, we don't want you sharing your information and people spamming you after, or, you know, it's a spam-free space. That's such a tongue twister. It is a spam-free space. So please, we are encouraging you not to share personal details and just, you know, enjoy the session today. So over to you, IK, if you just want to talk about last week. We had so much fun last week, didn't we?
Okay, yes. So last week we looked at safety 101 post-lockdown, and it was very important for us to, you know, look at that topic, because the truth is, as safety professionals, our role in the organization, in companies, they have become so important. I think people have now realized that we are so important. We need these people. Because before we were always, you know, put aside, you know, given a back seat, not being involved in critical decisions, you know, and then being called on to come and save the day, you know. But right now we are involved in everything. We're now a little bit more special at work. So, and of course, we have to look at, you know, things that we've learned before, things that we've always done that are no longer obtainable, that are no longer relevant like today, you know. And then of course we have to unlearn those things and of course learn new ways of working. And really, it was really about what tools, what resources do we have available to us that we can use. And we gave an example with Excel, how powerful Excel is. We showed you a little bit about Google for Business, we call it the G Suite, and some of the features that are available and that you can use for collaboration with your teams and things like that. And then we also talked about another app, iAuditor, that you can use, you know, for maybe risk assessment and, you know, just to reduce paper trail, because the truth is use of paper wastes time, you know, and we are trying to really be efficient. We're trying to collaborate with our teams, and it was really about what tools can we use and things like that. And then of course we talked from our real life experiences of running businesses, of working for people, being consultants, you know, leading departments. How have we been getting on, and what are we going to be doing going forward? So I think it was really a moment of sharing and discussing and just letting you, you know, pick just picking our brains, really, so that's what we did last week. And of course, this week we have something more interesting. So I'll leave Fumi to deal with that.
Thank you very much. It was indeed an amazing session last week. And this week, all I can say is fasten your seatbelt, because we have an amazing personality in-house today. And this week, it's all about empowerment. So whether you're male, female, it's all about empowerment. And of course, with a huge focus really on how to rise above storms and of course, showing tenacity through the face of adversities, okay? And being a force wherever you find yourself, it doesn't matter your sector, but wherever you find yourself, you must be a force to be reckoned with, okay? So our guest this week is going to be sharing practical tips and, skills that we can use to help us to be relevant. Our guest is a researcher, so, it doesn't come easy. When you hear somebody is a researcher, it means they are a bank of knowledge, okay? We're not talking peripheral knowledge, we're talking deep insights, okay? She's a researcher. She's also a chartered health and safety practitioner. So it's not an easy thing to become a chartered member, need I say the least, And of course, she is a council member of IOSH, the Institute of Safety and Health Professional. I must stress that. So you can already, begin to sense the caliber of the person that's coming on. Like, I watched the movie that says the timber and caliber. So the caliber of the person we're bringing on, you can be rest assured that you're leaving here power-packed today. Of course, she's also an entrepreneur and an equality advocate within the workplace. She goes by the name of Jessie, and this week, Jessie will be looking at how to break invisible glass ceilings, and not just that alone, but concrete ceiling in most cases as well for some people. Jessie has a huge background in construction sector. And so she's going to be talking, though we know that many women are interested in career in construction, and there's definitely no denying that the industry presents challenges, definitely, aside from the fact that being outnumbered with a ratio of 9-1, actually, in terms of the men to women in the sector, women who work in construction are walking into a world entirely that has been tailored really to men. So Jessie, without any further ado, you are welcome onto our platform, and you go ahead and, do your thing. Do your thing, girl.
Thank you. So I should have shared my screen now.
Yes, we can.
So everybody can see it. It's fine on your side?
Yes, we can.
Oh, perfect. Yes, so thank you very much for inviting me today for this talk. And I must say I was really impressed when Fumi contacted me and to talk about this. So I'm not gonna, everything I will be sharing here today, there's no wrong and right answer on the ways that you're gonna be dealing your career. But what I'm doing today, it's more sharing what I've done. So it's really a personal experience. And I hope that this practical tips could help you on your career. So so I'm Jessie Gomez. I'm currently occupational health, safety and well-being consultant. And I'm also a PhD student for UCL and an IOSH council member, as Fumi was saying. So just one second. Yeah, so in terms of background, so I just wanted to introduce you what I've done, but the intent is not for you to go through the same journey, but it's just to provide you with an overview. So I started with a master's degree in quality and health and safety and environmental management. And all what I've done, it's always trying to have a practical way of building my career. So I did my master's degree in sandwich course. So I was working, but also preparing for my master's degree. So I was working within a firm and I passed my master's degree at the same time. So it's really having this practical step in mind. So I did my master's degree in France, and then I arrived to UK 10 years ago When I arrived in UK 10 years ago, still with a master's degree in health and safety, I could not find a job because one, my English wasn't to the standard needed in UK, and two, I needed to build my network as well, and also my reputation here in UK. So I had to understand which type of qualification I needed in UK in order to break through the construction industry. So having a master's degree wasn't just enough for me. And so I did the NEBOSH General Construction Certificate, which it's what you will see on job description are kind of like needed as an entry level. So I did this in mind with an English, wasn't like really good, but I managed to get this together. Following my NEBOSH General Construction, I then went for my IOSH chartership member. So I probably wait for a few years down the line to have like really practical experience to be able to do my chartership, because you need a practical experience. You want to be able to arrive in front of your panel of IOSH and be feeling comfortable with telling what you've been doing over the years. So down after approximately 5 years working in construction, I then did my IOSH. I think I could have done it before, but I think everybody's kind of like trying to find excuses to not doing it. But if I have an advice to you, it's do it as soon as you can. I then went for the Association for Project Safety. As I work as a construction design manager, I think this was an amazing opportunity to have learning and being recognized by my peer from the Association for Project Safety. So I also, and I'm now a certified member. Then the latest one, which is like completely not something that I will advise you to do, because I find it quite not difficult, but it's a challenge. Everything has this challenge in life, but a PhD was like really an extra thing. It's me trying to always going further and trying to push my learning. So I decided that I wanted to do a PhD, and my thesis was about, is about, because I haven't finished my PhD, I'm still doing it without any challenges, but I hope to complete. It's looking at drawing an understanding of construction firm organizational learning processes, and what are the opportunity for occupational health, safety, and well-being systems. So this is what I'm gonna be doing at the moment. So to give you a bit of more kind of background of the construction industry, I just wanted to run through with you like few numbers, and I'm pretty sure you all really aware of them. But here in UK, because I'm talking just for UK, and most of the statistics are from UK studies. So we have 2.9 million workers in this construction industry. So in 2018, women represented 11 to 15% of the role in construction. And in 2022, we are at 20% of the workforce. So women, we get in there, but we need more women to come. So I invite you to don't get impressed by the landscape of construction, but just coming and have an entry point, and don't be discouraged as well. So unfortunately, women, 12% less than the male counterparts in the same role. And I'm quite a strong advocate about women's rights and about equality, and in any sense, equality. And also what you need to bear in mind is a third of women had experienced some form of discrimination and had experienced inappropriate comment from male colleagues. I think this is something I really want to touch on because statistics are clear. If you take, for example, a woman coming from maternity leave, sometimes they just don't speak up. They feel something was wrong, but they're just not gonna open up about the issue, and often they're just gonna leave the company. And unfortunately, the law is not with you when you work out. So you really need to make works the legal system for you when you are within the company, principally in terms of equality pay and any discrimination due to racial discrimination or due to any protective characteristic. You need to fight now if you feel that you've been discriminated. So this is a view of me looking at my first construction meeting. So I was just about 24 years old when I started to work in construction. And I must say I was like really intimidated by the landscape. It was like really male dominated, and it's still male dominated, we know. But I was like also really feeling vulnerable because, you know, I was a woman. I mean, I'm a woman. I'm a foreigner. It was my entry-level work in UK. So you kind of come in with like new eyes and you a bit feeling diminished. But I want to give you some practical steps to don't feel that way. And this is something we will go through a bit later. I will give you 5 practical steps that you can follow, even if you're already in construction. It's never too late, because for me, it's all matter of a continual improvement. You have to keep bashing and bashing on these principles. So how to go through the concrete ceiling? So I'm just going to take an analogy of the construction industry, because I'm a health and safety professional, and I think I will go through more my background a bit later. But how do you go through the concrete ceiling? You need a proper equipment, and here we can see. So I want to equip you with mental and knowledge and having like thinking that you could get through that concrete ceiling. So if you think about the analogy of health and safety and well-being processes and procedure, you need to plan your work. You need to put in place knowledge management processes, organizational learning. Think about eliminating or reduce the risk, control the system in place, isolate the risk, put in place a safe system of work, and its last resource is personal protective equipment. I think about your career as a task that you will be doing. If you're not working in health and safety, think about changing a light bulb into your house. You will never like work and changing a light bulb without proper planning. So for me, I think it's really important that you have this in mind. It's all about consistency and self-discipline. Self-discipline for me, it's the most important. It's what get me through where I am today. So just to come back a bit about my background, I landed my first role in UK when I was just really researching about health and safety role in UK. I was trying to understand how do health and safety is done. It's coming really through a thirst for knowledge. So if you want to come into the construction industry, you need to think about what do you want to learn and what you want to gain, because it's not all about giving your time away to a construction company, but it also what are you having back. So for me, it was really crucial to work harder on myself than on my day-to-day job as a health and safety advisor. I will be good and excelling on my day-to-day work, but it will have not been without consistent discipline into learning every single day. So I work in multicultural environments in a nuclear project, and this is one of my major roles in UK, because I was working within multicultural team. I also volunteer for the past 6 years with IOSH London Metropolitan Branch, and I started as just a committee member, just sitting at the table, speaking with people. We all have to start somewhere. So don't always think that you have to start at the top of the pyramid. You probably have to start in the bottom, and then after a few years and demonstrating your strength, you can then go through the rank. So within the IOSH London Metropolitan Branch, I have started as a committee member, and then I just show and demonstrated my thirst for knowledge and for learning. So I also established the first health and wellbeing hub at the London Metropolitan Branch. And I'm currently a University College London PhD student, but I also look at some research projects that my supervisor are doing into health and safety and well-being, and mainly lately digitization in construction. So I want to speak about my success, but I want you to don't get full with my LinkedIn profile. I really just don't want, because I know Femni was like really knowledgeable about all the achievements I made. But before thinking about this LinkedIn profile and all these achievements, you have to think that I had to go through. I don't want to say the hell, but I had to go through certain compulsory steps. It's things that you don't really want to do, but it's compulsory to have to go through certain it's part of the journey, I want to say. So I worked for really, really challenging clients to the point that I wanted to quit my job. I had a dismissive line manager. They're not all like this. I had like all sorts of challenges, which if I didn't really feel like I had a vision to pursue, I would have not been until now where I am. So I think for me, it's really important that you think that it's good to look at someone's successes, but think about, okay, in order for Jessie to arrive where she is, we probably have to go below and tip down on the iceberg and see what she had to go through. It's not an easy journey, but I just want to encourage you to take the first step with me and to put your feet on the first step of the ladder. So it's really crucial for me. So don't worry, we're gonna get you there. And even if you're already in construction and you feel that your career has been stagnant, don't worry, it's not gonna last forever. It's just what I wanted to say. So my main point, and this is my tips number one, in order to break through the concrete ceiling, for me, it's all about self-discipline. So for me, I will manage my diary. It's like, my diary will be something that I will not joke about. On Sunday afternoon or on Friday, just before leaving in the office, I will have scanned through and I will know exactly what's coming next week. I had some example of line manager coming to me and saying, Jessie, I want you to come to this meeting now. And I used to rush, not finishing a job, running on meeting. You have project manager coming to you, asking you to do something for them. And I had to learn. And what I learned is managing your diary. It's something that's crucial if you want to break through the concrete ceiling. Because if you're someone who can't finish the job because you say yes to everything, it's gonna be impossible. So be self-disciplined and manage your time. So by managing your time, I'm saying plan your week ahead. Get weekly goals and block your calendar. Your line manager is coming to you and asking you to do something. Okay, just then tell him, is this what you asked me to do yesterday? Is it not more important? Can I just do it later? Just try to make sure that you do the most important things first, because otherwise you're gonna get caught into doing things that is not a priority or it's not even important or urgent. So this is one of my tips. And also get a minimum of an hour a week dedicated to your personal development. This is crucial and it's something that I never joke about. I always was learning constantly. I remember at the beginning when I was living in UK, I had this, I had my flatmate saying to me, Jessie, you just don't stop studying. And my life, it's that. I will be a constant learner. And this is what I want to teach to my daughter, is to never settled for the truth and always like go further. So I think for me, this is crucial. Manage your time. Another fundamental pillar of the self-discipline is to look after yourself. If you're not looking after your physical and your mental well-being, I think for me, was really important. Probably, I'm not asking you to do a CrossFit session every week or going to the gym and lift as crazy, but at least it could be like a daily walk at lunchtime. And a daily walk are really good to improve your performance at work. So get your brain oxygenated and get ready to do the work. And also plan your weekly exercise and have always a peaceful time. So do some meditation or yoga, anything who can keep you coming back into homeostasis. So I think for me, nutrition and sleep are fundamental. You want to, when you come to the office, you have exercise, you are in a physical and mental state that can help you to go through anything coming or thrown at your way. So, and last one, and not least, I think do not neglect the power of networking. So I'm putting networking within the self-discipline bit just because I had to be disciplined in the fact that every month I was attending CPD session, I was attending industry events, and for me this was crucial. Show your face, speak with the right people, ensure that you're making this extra effort to be known basically within your industry. So this is really an example of how you can break through the congruency. Once people know about you, they will know you for your work ethic, but also for your self-discipline. The point number 2 is about upskilling. You need to manage your development. This is something I never joke about. I was saying when I was working harder on my self-development than on my job, it's nearly that I had 2 jobs. I had the jobs that I was doing in the office, and I had the jobs that I had to do for myself. Because tomorrow, when you leave your company that you're working on, nobody will remove all the qualifications that you have. You just will be so powerful because your learning, your knowledge, it's part of you, and it's also your identity card. So it's a transferable knowledge. So gain as much as you can transferable knowledge. So for me, it was all about getting my neighbor's general certificate, getting my construction certificate, getting my health and well-being certificate, becoming a charter member. You know, you've seen differently within the industry if you're a charter because you're recognized by your peer. People know that you've been stamped by a recognized organization as someone who follow a code of practice, as someone who knows his job and know what he's talking about. So do not underestimate any chartership status and any certified membership. So look at the Association for Project Safety, look at the CIOB, the Charter Institute of Building, and also be proactive in your career. Don't settle. This is what has happened to me. I never settled for anything. I always wanted to push and looking at what can I be doing next and how can I increase my learning, but also by increasing that learning, I was providing more added value for my client and more added value for the company I was working for. Because obviously when you have all this recognition, your company can charge the client a better rate because you recognize as an industry leader or as someone who have qualification and is being recognized. So plan your weekly development time. So this is something I was doing, and I must say, I ensure that I get a mentor and also I get a coach. If you can't get a coach because coach could be financially draining, you could get several mentors. You don't have to have you can have several mentors, you don't have to have one. You can have a mentor if you want to gain a certain leadership skills and you know that person is good about it. And this is something I did. I went to one of my colleagues. I knew it was really good to talk with people. He had eloquence, and he had public speaking skills. I went to him and I requested if we can have like weekly or once a month session where we can sit down and he could help me and mentor me. So this is a way to gain skills in a sense that you don't have to, it doesn't have to be draining, because you could have your mentorship in an office. You have your lunchtime. When you have an hour lunchtime, you can have time to have lunch with your mentor for half an hour. Take half an hour to read the Irish magazine, for example, or browse website, read the Harvard Business Review, look at the economics magazine. So it's all these like tiny things that increment, and they do marginal gain. This is what you need. The small steps that you do every day. And this is, I repeat again, it's all about consistency and hard work. The third one, it's about image. Manage your brand. So what does that mean, manage your brand? Know who you are and know how you want to be recognized by the industry, how you want to be seen by your peers, how do you want to be seen by your client. So it's all about how do you show up yourself, really? If you go in a meeting, what people will say about you. I think for me, this was like really crucial. I've been really being really looking into detail about the way I was showing up. And for me, it was all about my work ethic, my discipline in office, and the consistency I had. You can't just show yourself once a week as being extremely good in your job, and then the rest of the week, you just mediocre. There's no space for this. Be on top of your game. Be good. And be disciplined. This is, for me, it's key. This is why I am where I am. So, and I think it's also forward thinking. We are now on lockdown. I didn't settle because the lockdown was there. I just kick my butt every single morning. I wake up and I make sure that I was learning something still every single day. And I had the question yesterday, what have you been learning, Jessie, during the lockdown? I think I have a limitation of what I can learn. And I'm doing a PhD and I'm just gonna stick with that. But if you have more time, just gain new skills. You want to know more about CDM, or do you want to know more about health and safety or project management? This is the best time to do it. Get your LinkedIn profile sleek, put it up to date. And this is how you can break through the concrete ceiling, because your brand will be managed and on point. So know your weaknesses and work on them. When I know I wasn't good at something, for example, let's say I wanted to get more comfortable with being able to speak on meeting, I had to make a choice. And for me, it was like, okay, what can I do to do that? So I took a mentor. I started to go to Toastmaster meeting, where I could learn about how to speak and what are the different techniques. And for me, it's also, yeah, all these soft skills, leadership skills, you do need them. So look at conflict management as well, and public speaking. And any extra curriculum activities could also help you with your brand. I don't ask you to go and do something that you're not interested about, because everything I did, it's because I was interested about. I have my own health and fitness woman organization. So I teach dance to women in East London, and I get involved with IOSH. For me, it was like really to ensure that I was like expressing myself, because sometimes in the office, you just can't be who you are. But doing these extra activities just making you a more agile executive, because you will gonna open your mind. This is what you're gonna have. So attend internal communication session, attend industry expert event, try to get involved with certain industry events and colleagues that you think that you could do. You could do something, or you could bring something new. It's really important to have extracurricular activities. So the fourth point, it's manage and navigate your biasm. So basically, the construction industry, it's not an easy industry. I have to talk from my own experience here, because you are sometime in a new environment. I mean, for me, it was a complete shock because I came from France. English wasn't my first language, and I come in this male environment. People have their own biasm, and you do. So you need to stay alert. And I'm sorry if Boris Johnson, I picked this from Boris Johnson, but we need to stay alert. Don't stay alert just with coronavirus. You need to stay alert every single day of your life. Stay alert, assess people around you, observe. You need to know who you are talking to, who is in front of you, because your line manager probably don't want you to gain the next promotion, you know. You need to understand, maybe he's got biasm, maybe do you have your own biasm. You need to assess people around you. You need to be honest and learn to say no, and learn to speak when you have to. A good example will be to be less paid than your colleague. We know that women are 12% earning 12% less than they male counterparts. But what you need to know as well, it's like Black and minority ethnic are in median pay at least 25% less than the white counterparts. So I think it's really important that you fight and pick your battle in the moment you need to do it, and be within the company. It's a good time to do it. So I will give you a next one, the practical step to then do it. But for me, it's really important to speak up. So gain the leadership skills, because you're gonna need to learn how to manage difficult conversation. Going through the glass or the concrete ceiling, it means that you as a woman, or you as a Black woman, has to go through something that is difficult to break. You need to be equipped. That's why all the practical step I give you before is to give you the step and the analogy to health and safety earlier about breaking through using a drill. It's because it's really how you have to do it. And sometimes it means that you have to challenge the status quo. You need to go to HR. You need to tell them what's going on. But I'll urge you to do it now, because there's no better time to talk when you are within. So go raise grievance and make sure that your voice is heard. And make sure to have listening skills as well. Listen to what your line manager has to say. Listen to what your colleagues have to say. But please keep everything in writing. Go back to your desk and make sure to document any piece of information who can actually be an evidence of any discrimination regarding the fact that you're a woman, or the fact of you have any protective characteristic. Being disabled, being a woman, being gay or transgender, it's all the same. We all have to fight together. And then find allies and be an ally. There were times when I was going through the office and I wasn't sure that my line manager was really advocating for me behind closed door. So if you want to break through the concrete ceiling, you need to make sure that your line manager really see what you do at work. So make yourself visible, and do not hesitate to say what you're doing. Send email and say, this week I've done that. When you get positive feedback, demonstrate it, because you're not always gonna have someone advocating for you behind closed doors. And sometimes you have to do it yourself, or you have to speak with the right person and say, do you mind being my advocate? I think that this situation is not sustainable, and I haven't been having a pay rise for 6 years. This is not normal. I think there's something going on. So you definitely need to find allies and also be an ally. It's not all about, I have attended LGBT network event. I have attended working parents events, BAM group events, mother group event, because you need to be there and ready to fight for other people, because when your fight will arrive, you want also other people to fight for you, because we can't do everything on our own. So really find an allies for me, it's crucial. Integrity and action for success. When I say action for success, is how do you behave for success? And for me, it's all come down to speak against and speak up. You need to stay focused. You have your goal. You wrote down your goal. So stay focused with your goal. Don't let any person strike you between you and your goal. Stay focused. And for me, staying focused is being to voicing my concern to human resources. And if you feel that human resources is not listening to your concern, I will say, raise the grievance. This is like a process that you can demonstrate if you have to go to the court, that you have been taking a practical step and demonstrated that you've been telling your company that things went wrong. So learn from your mistake and others' mistakes as well, because you want to progress. So for me, it's really important to know, to acknowledge where you are and also know your rights. And you can get a lot of free legal support if you feel that you have reached a level and you can't break through it. You don't have to accept that. And I never accepted it. So I think you need to think about challenging the status quo. This was something that really helped me on my career, because I never take no for an answer, and I always I always question any answers that have been provided. So for me, it's really crucial. So and behaving for success means also being passionate. I don't work in construction industry just for the paycheck, because if I was just for that, I won't be working. So I'm simply passionate about what I do. I'm passionate about my job. I'm passionate about changing. I'm passionate about making an impact. So this is why being a continual learner, it's something that helped me to action for success and who helped me to break through the concrete ceiling. So never take no for an answer. And I beg you, just go to HR, have this conversation, make everything in writing, and speak with ECAS or trade union. Get to be a member of a trade union if you feel, because it's really important. They can support you. And also you have the Citizen Advice Bureau and the UK government as well, websites that you can find a lot of information. So stay assertive and believe in yourself. So in order to conclude this, because I think I've been talking a lot and I think some of you probably have questions, and I'm pretty sure I didn't raise everything, and it would be lying if I say I said to you everything. I mean, it's been 10 years of my life. So I just wanted to say to you, you got this. You got this. You got this. Girl, boy, anyone working in construction who is going through something really, really hard, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. And get support, get people to cheer you up and get at the end, and also be your cheerleader. Nobody's gonna come and cheer you as much as you do. So be your own best friend in this, and try to think, what piece of advice will you give you to your best friend? So give that same piece of advice to yourself and say, you got this. And believe in yourself, because I know there's so many women who are going through the imposter syndrome within the construction industry, thinking that they're not enough. And I want to tell you today, you are enough. And if a company doesn't see your worth, it's okay. I mean, there are plenty of other construction companies who will be happy to have you to work for them. So for me, it's be passionate, be consistent and self-disciplined, be professional and excellent at your job, so nobody have anything to say, So you can say, I deserve that rise because I work and I know what I've done and I know the client is happy with my job, and you don't have anything to say. They have to justify it. And don't worry, we have a legal system and I believe in it. So you can go now, and I believe that they always like they always a legal system that can help people who are going through discrimination to gain justice. So be known as a proactive achiever. I think what really helped me out these 10 years, it's because I was proactive. I never just wait and did what I've been asked to do. I always did what I've been asked to do and more. So so for me, it's like really to always like going beyond what I've been asked and being proactive. This is just really important. And I'll say, be yourself. Because if you're not yourself, if you're someone else walking through an office, I mean, this is really sad. So I will say, if you feel miserable somewhere, just look for a new job. It's fine. You don't have to stay where you're not valued, because you are enough. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Jessie. That was amazing. I mean, my pen or my wrist has been hurting. Just trying to write and write and write and write. And I hope that, you know, a lot of people have done likewise as well, taking notes. But if you haven't, we can reassure you that the slides will definitely come out to you like we would normally do on a weekly basis. We do have questions coming in, but before we go over to questions, we've also got to encourage you, because we've got a lot of commendations coming in as well. What a fantastic presentation. We've got muscle from Mrs. Fire Williams. She said, we've got muscles. Great presentations. Thanks.
Of course, we do.
Thank you so much. Nice presentation. This is amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing. So please, for those who have any questions, kindly use the Q&A box so that we are not mixing comments and questions together. So we'll quickly go ahead. I mean, I took notes. I can't even start repeating everything, but one of the key things that you said is to be a proactive achiever. Going beyond the call of duty is what makes you outstanding, is what makes you relevant, is what makes you known. And so we've got quite a few questions here. Did Jessie have difficulty in getting her employers to allocate her a time for personal development? Considering construction is quite a busy sector,
yes,
how are you
of course. Yeah, so for me, I never ask for permission, and I never use my work time. When I said to you, get allocated 1 hour a week to do that, it could be during the lunchtime, it could be after you clicked out and you're ready to go, you sign off, logged out, and you just take half an hour in office to do it. It could be going back home. It could be at home in your garden. It doesn't have to be something that you feel that it has to be during your work time. Do your job, but also allocate time outside of your work to do it. And for me, using my lunch break was, for me, always like a way of, like, I know it's a bit bizarre, but a way of relaxing, learning. For me, it's relaxing, it's a bit strange, but I don't know, like read the IOSH magazine and know about what is the latest innovation in health and safety, for example, or have a call, have a mentoring session. This is on my personal time. And there were times that I've been challenged because I was so down into managing my time that I was even putting my personal development time on my work calendar, and I've been challenged because it was during my lunch time, and I've been challenged, where are you charging this time? I'm not charging this time to any of your clients because it's during my lunchtime. So you need to claim your time. Don't do anything that can be firing back at you. This is not what I'm telling now. What I'm telling now is we all have 24 hours in a day. Don't tell me that you don't have 1 hour to do something for you. Could be like you take the time to shower yourself every day. So I don't see why not you taking the time. So no, I didn't have any difficulty for my employer to allocate me this time because I just I didn't use my employer time.
Mm.
So for me, but bear in mind, if you're clever enough, you can find a way to get your employer to pay for. I did it, in a sense that I had training sometimes paid by my employer. So this was a clever way to use the time. And if the employer sees a benefit or having someone who've got like more knowledge, more learning, that he can charge the client more, he can sell a service because JC or Femni or EK is got a chartership, then this is a win-win situation, isn't it? This is what we want. We want win-win situation when we're working. And this is what I always did.
Thank you so much. You're right. It's still, I think that sits very nicely under the point you made about self-discipline. And I like also standing out. You've got to stand out. You've got to speak up and speak out as well. So people kind of need to know where you stand, so they know what you can tolerate and what they can put your way as well, so standing your ground is very important. So we have another question that says, this is a bit sensitive. It says, which was the most challenging for you, being a Black in this sector or being a minority Black in this sector?
To be honest, it's an issue that we said cross-sectionality issue, and I have so many angles to look at now that I stopped looking at which one. There are times that I came to say, okay, is this colleague has a problem with me because I'm a woman? Is this colleague has a problem because I'm Black? Or is it because I'm French? Or is it because I have an accent? To be honest, the most challenging for me, I think I just can't identify the problem. And this is like really genuine. I can't tell you if someone had an issue with me because I was a woman or if I was Black. And so for me, it's not dissociated. Woman and you're Black, it's you're a Black woman. Remove it's all together. So for me, the most challenging was to be a Black woman, mother, educated, and foreigners. Because we had the Brexit context, and being a foreigners within this context wasn't like a good time. I had people trying to come and apologize to me saying I was different. I was different. Yeah, JC, you different, I voted, but you different. No, I don't need people to apologize for their action. I understand. So for me, the most challenging, it's not about picking woman or Black. It's like, I think it's being both. It's being a woman and a minority. So that's why I can understand the issues that women have. A woman, but I'm also a Black woman, so I have more problem and more issue, more things to think about, more things to say. Oh, okay, hold on. What is trying to say? What is trying to achieve? Is it because? Yeah, I can't pinpoint exactly. Yeah.
And you know what? It's probably best not to even pinpoint it. Going back to the statement you made, it is easy to get distracted. And if you start getting distracted by these things, you're not exactly going to break through any glass ceiling, let alone concrete ceiling. So
for me, stay focused.
Absolutely.
Stay focused, and you're going to always have challenging coming your way. But I'll say just get the mental strength, because you could get completely mentally destroyed. And I had to go through that myself. And I know what it takes to then trying to come back to who you are. Working on it, don't get me wrong. Today I'm sitting before you, but I have my own struggle and it's still ongoing, but show must go on.
Absolutely.
That because someone tried to stab me on the back, that I'm not gonna stand now. I will say now I'm standing, and I think they probably have some issue now. Yeah.
Thank you so much. We're going to try, Jess, if you could help us, because we've got more questions coming in and we've got to by 4. So we have to be very, very prompt with those responses. I mean, just to encourage you again, a gentleman has put here, Mr. Said Maroof said, wow, what a lovely presentation. It's so amazing hearing this from a lady in this line of industry. So, it's amazing. And I want you to remember that people agree that you're doing a great job, and of course continue to stay focused. So we've got a question from Mr. Tunji, who says, what do you what are the challenges Jessie faced whilst trying to confront status quo in the workplace? The construction industry has a lot of behavioral challenges for HSE advisor in multiple racial sector. How was Jessie able to navigate around such?
Yeah, I'm gonna come back to it, stay focused, because there's so many times I just wanted to cry. There's so many times I wanted to give up. I had months that I wanted to quit my job because I had this difficult client that was doing everything. I mean, you know, sometimes I just don't want to excuse certain type of behavior, and I think that sometimes people don't realize. But I was constantly interrupted at meeting. You know, it's like these little things, and for me, I thought that it was my problem. I thought it was me, the issue. So I take a coach. I thought that I could deal with that. But sometimes you just have to walk away and pretend. Unfortunately, I had to keep my heads up, and I had to keep my heads up and stay really focused and do my job. That's why I'm well known as someone with integrity within the industry, because I kept my head above the parapet. And whatever was thrown at me, I was still going. And so, yes, the challenges that I confronted was like, yeah, difficult clients, people coming to me saying that they were like 25 years experience. And you know, when you're 24, of course I don't have 25 years experience. I'm just coming in, I'm just enthusiastic, I just want to learn, and I'm ready to do and to learn, you know. And some people feel really in danger, principally when they see a woman in front of them. And a black woman, I think this is the scary bit. It's when you're black and you're a woman. Think about it, because they're already scared of women. So when you're black, it's like it's even worse. It's like yeah. It was just like, so for me, I hope I have answered your question, Tanji.
I believe you have. Actually.
Yeah, so
we have more comments, but before time runs out, just one last question. Again, just to remind people, you will get the slides. If you have logged in with your emails, we will be sending out slides to everyone who is logged in. We have Akinomo Imwang, who says, great presentation. Quite an encouragement to those that doubt their abilities and potential achievement. Thanks, Jessie. What do you do? Okay, Samuel Salawu said, what do you do when you need to admit your mistakes? What do you do?
I think I'm honest, and I did made some mistakes. I think it wasn't nothing major, but sometimes when you're good at your job and when you really genuine, if you find a mistake, you go to your line manager first and you say, listen, I think I made this mistake. But you try to correct that mistake as soon as possible. And sometimes you try to correct it even before even sometime find out about it. So, I mean, if it's nothing that kill anyone, it's fine, but working in health and safety could be at all. So you need to be really meticulous and review anything you have to submit, ask the right question, and put yourself forward to your line manager before you find out about the mistake, and be honest. I mean, there's nothing wrong of being honest and admitting, and principally always learn from your mistakes. And this is an important point for me, is whatever mistake I did, I was like, I had these little notebooks that I will always put lesson learn, you know. So have a notebook where you put lesson learn of the week, and you could write down, okay, what I've really learned this week. Okay, I think I made a mistake, because sometimes you think that you've been perfect, but there's probably something you did wrong, or you could have done better. So it's always trying to challenge the status quo and learn from people who know better than you, because when you know better, you do better. So this.
Thank you so much. Honestly, before we round off, I think there's an acronym, as you were talking, an acronym that came to mind for us to indeed break through concrete ceilings, even in the times that we're in, is that we've got to be fat, and not physically fat. It's F for faithful. We've got to be faithful in what we're doing. We've also got to be available, you know, so that we put ourselves forward, just like Jessie has said. And lastly, to be teachable. So that's the T for teachable. And so as we go ahead to break through glass ceilings, let's remember to be fat whilst we do that. Jessie, it's been an amazing time having you on. I'm going to pass it over to IK. IK, last words, please. IK, you there?
Okay, so thank you, Jessie, and thank you everyone for your comments and your questions. Thank you so much. You know, just listening to you, I think it's like, okay, I don't know if there are Christians here, but you know, when you hear something, you're like, ah, that must be God confirming, because it's as if you're confirming a lot of things that we've been sharing here, because we talk about being excellent. And I remember once sharing about volunteering, because I started in health and safety as a volunteer, you know, and then look at you, you volunteered for 6 years, you know, just to get your feet in there. You know, so, and I think it's really good that you've shared many of these things. It just, you know, it just adds value and validates what, you know, we keep sharing and saying to people. So thank you very much. And thank you for sharing your experience. And really, it's really about being focused, because I've had this kind of experience, but not as bad as you. When a previous role, I wondered, is it because I'm a woman? Is it because I'm black? Okay, maybe I'm not too black, but I'm black still, you know? So I had those kind of thoughts. And even the white guys would be like, why do you think he's doing that to you? And I'll be like, I don't know. But in my mind, I know. You know, but focus on that. I'm like, man, that's their problem. I'm just going to do my work, you know. So it's really, really nice and refreshing hearing from you. So thank you very much. And thank you everyone for always coming back. So next week we have some announcements to make, but we'll save it till then.
Absolutely, because we've gone over 4. It's now 4:02. I can normally talk to me after the show. What is your problem with rushing off? And I'm saying, we've got to keep to time. When we're talking about integrity, let us be known that we start at 3 and we finish by 4. So thank you so much for joining us. And for questions we haven't answered, we will answer them and send out slides to you. It's been amazing. You take care of yourself.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for coming.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting. Bye.
Thank you, people.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.